What is up, guys? So, today I have here the Galaxy S25 Ultra. It's been around 2 months since I got my hands on this device, and today I'm going to be talking about this phone and, kind of if you should buy it or not. I will say right off the bat, this phone does feel kind of unfinished and, not optimized, how it should have been. So, I'll talk about that later on, and yeah, let's get started. Okay, so let's talk about the design of this phone because I feel like that's something that's kind of controversial this year. Now, a lot of people have been saying that they don't like the design of this phone or it's too boring, it's too stale. People are saying that Samsung has recycled this design for the past 4 years or 4 generations of Galaxy S Ultra phones. And now that's kind of true-ish. They have maintained the same 4-camera design, 1 LiDAR sensor, and the camera layout has kind of stayed the same, but the cameras themselves have gotten bigger. This year they added a camera ring around it, which, by the way, are not fake. These are not fake. They're not coming off. They haven't came off. They're the exact same camera rings that were used in the Galaxy Z Fold 6, and nobody has had issues with those camera rings in the long term. And as for the design itself, if you compare it to the Galaxy S23 Ultra, it does look different. Obviously, it's a phone. What can you change about it to make it look drastically different? Even it kind of looks like an iPhone 16, just with different camera layouts, slightly more boxier, sides. Now, I can get maybe not liking how it is boxy now. I personally do like it. I think it makes the phone feel a lot more premium. We have a flat back and a flat rails, but it still has a pretty decent curve, how it curves from the frame into the back glass. It all feels really comfortable and really nice in the hand, paired with the matte glass and matte rails. I think it feels super premium. This is, by the way, the jet black color. We also have a flat display too. So when it comes to the design, I really don't think there's a reason to hate on this phone. I personally really like it. I personally don't think that it looks stale, but I don't know. Let me know what you think down in the comments. But when it comes to the actual design, I think it's comfortable. I think it looks nice. Sure, Samsung could have added maybe a little bit more vibrant colors. It seems like all the ones except for the black are just kind of different shades of whitish. Maybe that's just me. But other than that, I think that the design on this Galaxy S25 Ultra is really stunning, super premium, and just overall really nice. Also, the screen on this phone is crazy good. So we have a pretty large screen. I think it's a 6.8 or 6.9 inch display. I think it's 6.8. I'll put it on screen. We have great resolution with a Quad HD Plus panel that goes up to 2,600 nits of peak brightness. And with this anti-reflective coating, you can hardly see any reflections when this device is turned off, let alone when it's turned on and in full sunlight. So when it comes to the panel on this phone, it's actually really great. And also with this flat screen and flat sides, just holding this phone in general, especially with the thin bezels on the screen, it just makes this phone feel so nice and futuristic. And it's probably one of the best screens that I've experienced on a smartphone. Okay, so this is kind of when the phone starts to fall apart. So the cameras is one of the probably honestly the weakest part about this phone, yet at the same time the best. So like I said, on paper, these cameras are crazy good and crazy high, which yes, they are good, but not in all situations. So for the actual specifications of these cameras, we have a main 200 megapixel sensor, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, a 50 megapixel 5x telephoto lens, and a 10 megapixel 3x lens. Honestly, I think they should get rid of the 3x lens or at least upgrade it to a higher megapixel. And then on the front here, we have just a single 12 megapixel selfie camera, which this is the camera that I have the biggest issue with. Now, it's no doubt that this phone can take great pictures with a perfect, oh, sorry, I'm remodeling my studio, so there's a lot of drywall and stuff. So it's, if you see any here, there's some drywall mud there and stuff. So yeah, if you see anything, I'm remodeling, so don't judge, I guess. So that's what's going on with that. So, like I said, this phone, it does take really great pictures. I'll put some pictures once I'm done talking about the cameras on screen so you guys can see the quality. Yeah, in the default 12 megapixel mode, takes good pictures. In the 50 megapixel mode, takes good. 2000 megapixel, it takes great pictures. But just, it's kind of weird how this phone tends to highlight dark spots in a very unnatural way. So if you don't have perfect lighting conditions, it's not going to do that great. And that's not a problem with the phone. That is a software and processing issue. Samsung can easily fix it in a software update if they want to. So hopefully down the road that will happen. But where this phone stands right now, it's not quite flagship level. And some improvements that Samsung has made is that the shutter speed is now way faster than it ever was before. And none of those pictures that you're going to be taking are going to be blurry. Like, let me just like move my camera around and let me just like show you the pictures on screen. I haven't had any blurry pictures. They all turn out really great. So overall, that's something that Samsung has fixed. It's something that actually needed to be fixed and something that you can actually benefit from in everyday usage. Now, the selfie camera is the biggest downside of this camera system. So the Galaxy S25 Ultra, like I mentioned, has a 12 megapixel selfie camera. It's there. It's not horrible. It could be way better. Maybe I'm just kind of accustomed to how iPhone takes pictures. But even then, the quality is not good. It can't handle like as broad of like a spectrum of situations with lighting and stuff like that than an iPhone can. And I don't mean to compare it to an iPhone. I feel like they kind of have the top standard for selfie like camera resolution and pictures and stuff. Now, one thing that I think Samsung can fix this with is increasing the size of the camera, making it a bigger sensor, making it a bigger cutout. Now, that might not make it look as aesthetically pleasing, but the Google Pixels have a big camera like hole punch cutout. The iPhones, they have the dynamic island. That's huge. So I think it's something that Samsung should do, something Samsung should have done. Maybe something Samsung will do with the upcoming Galaxy S26 Ultra. I think it's really at least worth them considering. So just know that the selfie camera isn't going to be the best quality that you're going to experience on some other phones like the Google Pixel or the iPhone. Also, the integration with different things in social media with that selfie camera is going to suffer some pretty like low quality, partially due to the lack of optimization and just the overall quality of the selfie camera. So don't expect anything crazy out of this front-facing camera. So other than the way that this phone processes like probably a quarter of its photos and this selfie camera, the Galaxy S25 Ultra has a great camera system. It's honestly a pretty great setup. It just needs a decent amount of fine tuning to get the perfect camera experience, which I'm sure will happen over time. But as of right now, it's just not where it needs to be. So let's put those pictures on screen, and once they're done, let me know down in the comments what you thought of the quality. Okay, I would also now like to address the lack of innovation that Samsung has made with this phone. Okay, so something that a lot of people have been talking about with the Galaxy S25 Ultra is the lack of innovation that Samsung has made over the past few generations, and especially with this new Galaxy S25 Ultra. And honestly, I don't really think that that's a valid point to make. I think Samsung has made a lot of innovation, especially with this Galaxy S25 Ultra. Now, sure, it might not have like a 100 times zoom camera or some crazy specification like a 7,000 milliamp hour battery, stuff that would be really nice to see if it's practical. I feel like all the pretty decent amount actually of the minor changes that Samsung made to this phone really add up to make this phone a really nice experience, and honestly a pretty nice phone, and overall a lot more of like a finished package when compared to its predecessors, especially the S23 and 4 Ultra. I feel like those phones were very Android. They were good, they had really impressive specs, but nothing was like, I guess, uniformed in an overall great experience, which I don't care if a phone has crazy performance, has a crazy good camera. If your everyday usage with that phone isn't good, secure, smooth, or reliable, then I don't think those like crazy features are worth it. And for the changes that Samsung didn't make on this S25 Ultra, we now have a new flat design, which a lot of people say that that's not doing anything. Honestly, a design can change a phone to make it feel a lot better. Personally, I think that's it. Like I mentioned with the design, we have a kind of more boxy, kind of just overall form factor, really nice. titanium sides, Gorilla Glass armor Gen 2 for the back and front glass with that anti-reflective coating, really nice there. We have a new speaker grill, which has a lot better sound. And a lot of these features that I'm going to mention were hardly talked about at all by Samsung, so I think it's really important that I'm talking about it. Also have improved microphones that I've noticed they capture a lot better, more surround sound. We have that new 50 megapixel 5x lens, which takes really great pictures. We have the biggest vapor chamber in any Samsung smartphone, and it does really great with keeping this phone cool, especially when using it for long periods of times, doing pretty intensive tasks. Something literally nobody has talked about. We have satellite connectivity. I can't stress how bad Samsung has done at making this, all these new features about the Galaxy S25 Ultra not prominent, not very noticed at all. Now it says I'm not subscribed, so that is true. I don't pay a subscription, but it won't require one once this feature is complete. They're kind of waiting on Google for this feature, but I can use the Starlink through T-Mobile to utilize this feature, and currently T-Mobile is only offering it on the iPhones, but with these new Samsungs, you can also access that Starlink connectivity through T-Mobile's Starlight collaboration. So it's just all the features like this, including the new chip, that just make this phone feel so much better. I feel like people saying that Samsung did not innovate at all with this Samsung, that's just not true. It's been a really great experience, and they did make a lot of changes that doesn't have to do with AI. In their Unpacked event, all they talked about was AI and a few of the minor upgrades that they made, but there are a lot of changes with this S25 Ultra. Okay, now let's talk about the software experience with this phone. Now, this phone is obviously running with Samsung's newest One UI 7, which offers a lot of nice improvements, like we now have a separated notification and quick settings, a lot more fluid animations with the ability to open and close your apps pretty quickly and seamlessly, and nothing's going to bug out or glitch really bad. So that's a huge improvement there. We also have new lock screen customization, some tweaks with the widgets on the lock screen. They will soon be opening it up to third-party apps can now develop for their lock screen widgets. It just overall looks a lot cleaner. This new One UI 7 really just brings this phone together, especially with the design language now being more Samsung, especially with the very rounded edges. Very much so corresponding with the roundedness of their phones. Overall, it makes this phone feel so complete with the One UI 7. Now, for some of their AI things, probably one of the most pushed AI feature with this phone is the recap. It's a pretty cool feature. As you use the phone more, it will know more information about you. Right now, it's just this, but because I just reset this phone. But before, when I was using it, it would do here are some pictures you took today. Here are places you went. Here are some things you might want to do. Here are some ways that you can relax and wind down before you go to bed. If you have things going on tomorrow, it can be hey, you need to do this tomorrow. You need to be up by this time. Stuff like that. So it's I think the more your phone gets to know you, the more helpful this will be. We also have a new audio eraser, which is actually kind of cool. So I'm going to take this picture that was taken, definitely not on my phone. It was of my dog before she got on a plane to come to the US. This is in Russia. I'm not sure what camera or phone they're using. So how you use this is just going to be in the little Galaxy AI icon. It's going to kind of scan your thing, analyze for different sounds. So we have voices. Let me go ahead and turn it up. Can turn it down. So Samsung has really made some element tweaks, a few minor tweaks, and a few major tweaks. You can turn it up and down. So if I turn the voices off, or if I just wanted to turn the wind off and turn the voices up. It's not perfect. Let's turn the noise down too. Okay, let's see how this sounds. Okay, so here's the edited version. And here's before. So it definitely does do a really good job with like not super complex things. Like if there's like a lot of noise and very little voice, it can recognize those different things and turn the noise off or down. But the voice will still kind of sound a little bit like computerish. So it's not perfect, but where it stands right now, it's actually pretty great. And there are a few other AI things. I'll put like a full list of Galaxy AI and like kind of like separate what is new with this Galaxy S25 Ultra so you can see that on screen. Because overall, I feel like AI is an important part of this phone, but until Samsung can really like figure out how to actually make this a true AI companion, which is really how they marketed this phone, until that happens, I don't think the AI is something to get as hyped about as they're trying to make it sound. Okay, also quickly, the battery life and performance. So the battery life it's pretty great. We have a 5,000 milliamp hour cell on here, not as big as they probably definitely could have made it. Not crazy impressive, but battery life is still really great. I'll put some examples of like an average usage on screen so you guys can see that. It's pretty great, honestly. I can get a day and a half to 2 days of battery life from one charge. It's definitely a lot better than my iPhone 16 Pro, that's for sure. It's pretty on par, if not a little bit better than the 16 Pro Max, so it's pretty great for battery life. That does have to do with the new chip. We have the Snapdragon 8 Elite this year, a pretty great chipset for a phone, and overall for performance and battery life, it is really great. And it's definitely noticeable for just keeping the everyday like tasks just like very smooth, very consistent, and not like jittery or anything. Okay, so overall, my experience with this phone has been pretty good. I mean, I haven't had anything that I don't necessarily like besides the cameras. Like how I kind of see it, if Apple put their exact camera system and their app into this phone, yeah, I'm switching to it. I don't care about iOS. I don't care about anything. I'm switching to this phone 100%. It would be that good of a phone. So I do really like this phone. It's great. Like I said, I could highly recommend it. If the selfie camera is really important to you, I would at least go try this phone out in a store and see if like the camera quality is, okay for you, and go from there. So yeah, I can recommend this phone to you. Biggest downside of this phone is the cameras, but other than that, there's pretty much no other issues that I have with this phone. So yeah, overall, just a solid phone, just with some minor optimization issues. But other than that, I can highly recommend it. Definitely would recommend to try it out or buy this phone. And if you don't like it, then you can just return it back to Samsung and get your money back and move on with your life. So definitely can recommend it. Yeah, with that said, I'll leave some links down in the description from Samsung so you can pick this up for yourself. And thank you for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, it would mean a lot to me if you consider subscribing. And I'll catch you in one of my other videos, and I'll see you there. Bye guys, have a great day.